Welcome back to the Expensive Coins History channel. Today we are taking a deep and complete look at one of France's most talked about modern coins, the 1967 France 20 centimes coin, often described by collectors as having no mint mark. This coin is frequently searched online, often misunderstood, and sometimes mistakenly believed to be extremely rare or worth a large amount of money. In this video, we will explore its full history, design, production, rarity, and true market value, so by the end you will clearly understand what this coin really is and what it is truly worth today. The 1967 20 centimes coin was issued during the era of the French Fifth Republic, a period that followed major economic reforms and modernization in France. During the 1960s, small denomination coins like the 20 centimes played an essential role in everyday life. They were used daily for food purchases, public transportation, newspapers, and other common transactions. The coin was not intended as a commemorative issue or a collector piece but as a practical and durable form of currency for a growing population. France had introduced the new franc earlier in the decade, and by 1967 the monetary system was well established. Coins from this period reflect stability, national pride, and efficiency. The 20 centimes denomination was one of the most heavily used coins in circulation, which explains why so many examples exist today. The design of the coin reflects traditional French artistic values combined with simplicity. On the obverse, the inscription République Française surrounds a symbolic representation inspired by Marianne, the national emblem of the French Republic. This figure represents liberty, reason, and unity, values that have defined France for centuries. The design is elegant but functional, meant to be easily recognizable in daily use. The reverse displays the denomination 20 centimes along with the year 1967. Decorative elements symbolizing growth, agriculture, and prosperity frame the value. The layout is clean and balanced, allowing the denomination to be read clearly even after years of circulation. The coin is made from an aluminum-bronze alloy, which gives it a golden appearance. This metal was chosen for its durability and resistance to corrosion. The coin measures approximately 23.5 mm in diameter and weighs around 4 grams. The edge is smooth, with no reading or lettering, consistent with many French coins of the period. One of the most common questions surrounding this coin is about the mint mark. France traditionally uses small symbols rather than letters to identify mint production. During this time, the official mint mark was a cornucopia symbol used by the Paris Mint. This mark is very small and can easily become weak or disappear due to circulation, wear, or cleaning. Because of this, many coins appear to have no mint mark at all. This has led to the widespread belief that the 1967 20 centimes without a mint mark is a rare error coin. In reality, there is no officially recognized major variety or documented error for this issue involving a missing mint mark. Coins that appear to lack one are almost always the result of heavy wear, weak striking, or surface damage rather than a true mint error. The production numbers for the 1967 20 centimes coin were extremely high. Over 100 million pieces were struck for circulation. This massive mintage places the coin firmly in the common category. From a numismatic perspective, it is not rare, not scarce, and not difficult to obtain. Large numbers of these coins have survived, which is why they are still frequently found in collections and dealer inventories. Because the coin was widely used, most examples today show signs of wear. Scratches, faded details, and discoloration are common. These circulated coins generally have very little monetary value beyond their historical interest. In most cases, a circulated 1967 20 centimes coin is worth only a small amount, often just a few cents to a couple of euros. Coins in higher condition can be worth more, but the increase is modest. Uncirculated examples with strong original luster, sharp details, and no damage may sell for several euros. Exceptionally well-preserved coins, especially those certified by professional grading services, can command higher prices, but even in top condition this coin rarely reaches high-value territory. It is important to be cautious when seeing high prices online. Many sellers list common coins at unrealistic values, often claiming rarity or errors that do not exist. These listings do not reflect actual market value. True value is determined by completed sales, collector demand, and condition, not by asking prices. Some collectors also believe that any coin without a visible mint mark must be valuable. This is a common misconception. Without professional authentication, claims of mint errors should be viewed carefully. A worn or damaged mint mark does not automatically make a coin rare or expensive. Another important factor is cleaning. Cleaning a coin almost always reduces its value. Many people clean old coins thinking it will make them more valuable, but this damages the surface and removes original luster, which collectors highly value. Although the 1967 France 20 centimes coin is not a high-value investment piece, it remains an important part of French monetary history. It represents a time of economic growth and modernization and reflects the everyday lives of millions of people who used it in daily transactions. For beginners, it is an excellent introduction to French coinage. For experienced collectors, it serves as a reminder that age alone does not determine value. The 1967 France 20 centimes coin, even when it appears to have no mint mark, is a common circulation coin with limited monetary value. Its worth depends largely on condition and authenticity, and while it is unlikely to be worth a fortune, it holds historical and educational significance that makes it a meaningful collectible. The 1994 France 20 centimes coin with no traditional mint mark. This coin has generated a great deal of interest among collectors and everyday people who come across it in old coin jars or inherited collections. Many believe it could be rare or even worth a large amount of money, so in this video we will explain its full background, history, production, rarity, and true current value in the coin market. The 20 centimes denomination has a long and important place in French monetary history. By 1994, France was still using the franc as its national currency, just a few years before the euro would replace it. Coins like the 20 centimes were essential to daily life and circulated heavily throughout the country. These coins were used for transportation, food purchases, newspapers, and countless small transactions, which is why most surviving examples show noticeable wear today. The 1994 20 centimes coin belongs to the Marianne series, one of the most iconic and recognizable designs in French numismatics. Marianne is a powerful symbol of the French Republic and represents liberty, equality, and fraternity. Her image has appeared on French coins, stamps, and official artwork for generations, making this coin more than just currency. It is a reflection of French identity and Republican values during the late 20th century. The coin itself is made from aluminum bronze, giving it a gold-like appearance even though it contains no precious metals. It is lightweight, durable, and designed specifically for mass circulation. Its size and composition were chosen to ensure long-lasting use, not collectability. This is one of the main reasons the coin was produced in very large quantities. On one side of the coin, the denomination and year are clearly visible along with the famous French motto liberty, equality, fraternity. These words trace their roots back to the French Revolution and remain central to France's national philosophy. The opposite side features the profile of Marianne wearing the Phrygian cap, a symbol historically associated with freedom and resistance against tyranny. One of the most misunderstood aspects of the 1994 France 20 centimes coin is the idea that it has no mint mark. Unlike some countries that place large and obvious mint marks on their coins, France uses small privy symbols. These symbols are often overlooked or mistaken for design elements. Many people assume that because they do not see a letter mint mark, the coin is somehow special or rare. In reality, these small symbols usually represent the engraver or mint authority rather than a different production location. During 1994, multiple privy symbol variations were used on the 20 centimes coin. These variations are interesting to collectors who enjoy identifying small differences, but they do not significantly affect the value of the coin in most cases. The vast majority of these coins were produced for circulation and were never intended to be rare. When it comes to rarity, it is important to understand how coin values are determined. Rarity is not based on age alone. It depends on how many coins were produced and how many still exist today. The 1994 France 20 centimes coin was minted in extremely large numbers. Tens of millions were struck to meet the needs of everyday commerce. Because of this high production volume, the coin is considered common. Most examples found today are circulated and show signs of wear such as flattened details, scratches, or discoloration. These circulated coins typically hold very little premium above their original face value. They are widely available and easy to find in bulk lots or inherited collections. There are, however, special versions of this coin that were produced for collectors. Proof and collector quality strikes were made with much greater care and precision. These coins feature sharper details, reflective surfaces, and were never intended for circulation. They were sold in official sets and preserved by collectors. These proof examples are far less common than circulation coins and can be worth significantly more, especially if they remain in flawless condition. Condition plays a critical role in determining value. A worn coin that has spent years in circulation will generally be worth very little. An uncirculated coin that still retains its original luster and sharp design may be worth a modest premium. Proof coins in perfect condition sit at the top of the value range for this date and denomination. Many people search online and see extremely high prices listed for the 1994 France 20 centimes coin. It is important to understand that asking prices do not reflect actual selling prices. Some sellers list common coins for exaggerated amounts in hopes of attracting attention or inexperienced buyers. This does not mean the coin regularly sells for those prices. In realistic market conditions, most standard 1994 20 centimes coins are worth only a small amount. They do not contain gold or silver, and their high mintage limits their financial value. Their worth is primarily historical and educational rather than monetary. That does not mean the coin has no value at all. For collectors building a complete set of French franc coins or Marianne series coins, the 1994 20 centimes is an essential piece. It represents the final decade of the French franc and a time of transition in European currency history. If you have one of these coins, the best thing you can do is examine it carefully. Look at the condition, check for sharp details, and avoid cleaning it. Cleaning can permanently damage the surface and reduce collector interest. If the coin appears unusually well preserved or has mirror-like surfaces, it may be worth having it evaluated by a professional coin dealer or grading service. The 1994 France 20 centimes coin with no obvious mint mark is a common circulation coin with an important place in modern French history. While most examples are not rare or highly valuable, they remain meaningful artifacts from the final years of the French franc. Their true value lies in their history, design, and role in everyday life rather than in dramatic financial worth. The 1995 France 10 centimes coin with no mint mark is a perfect example of how an ordinary coin can carry deep historical and cultural meaning. At first glance, this coin appears simple and familiar, yet when examined closely, it reveals an important chapter in the final years of the French franc and the transition toward a new European monetary era. By 1995, the French franc was still the official currency of France, even though preparations for the future introduction of the euro were already underway. The 10 centimes denomination was widely used in daily life and represented one of the smallest units of purchasing power in circulation. These coins were exchanged countless times in shops, cafes, public transport systems, and markets, making them an essential part of everyday commerce. Because of this heavy usage, most examples of the 1995 10 centimes coin show signs of wear today. The design of the coin features Marianne, the iconic symbol of the French Republic. Marianne represents liberty, civic virtue, and the values of the French Revolution. Her portrait on the coin is dignified and strong, reflecting the ideals of the nation rather than a specific individual. This timeless design had been used for many years and continued into the 1990s, reinforcing continuity and national identity during a time of economic and political change. Surrounding Marianne is the inscription identifying the French Republic, clearly marking the coin as an official state-issued piece of currency. On the reverse side, the denomination of 10 centimes is prominently displayed, along with the national motto Liberty, Equality, Fraternity. These words are not decorative elements but core principles of French society, and their presence on a coin used by millions of people highlights how deeply these values are woven into everyday life. One of the most common questions about this coin concerns the absence of a mint mark. The 1995 France 10 centimes coin does not carry a mint mark, and this is completely normal. During this period, coins struck at the Paris Mint were produced without a visible mint mark. This means that the lack of a mint mark does not indicate a rare variation, an error, or a special issue. It simply confirms standard production for circulation. The coin is made from an aluminum-bronze alloy, chosen for durability and affordability. Its golden appearance often leads people to believe it contains valuable metal, but in reality, its value does not come from precious metal content. The coin is lightweight, with a smooth edge and a practical design intended to withstand years of circulation without losing functionality. In terms of production, the 1995 10 centimes coin was minted in very large quantities. Millions were produced to meet the needs of the French economy. Because of this high mintage, the coin is considered common from a numerical standpoint. However, widespread circulation means that well-preserved examples are far less common today than heavily worn ones. Most coins found today are in circulated condition, showing scratches, faded details, and dull surfaces. These examples generally hold minimal value beyond their historical interest. However, coins that remain in extremely fine or uncirculated condition are much more desirable. These pieces retain sharp details, original luster, and clean surfaces, making them more appealing to collectors. There were also specially struck versions intended for collectors, including proof-quality examples. These coins were produced with greater care, using polished dies and controlled striking processes. Proof coins feature reflective fields and crisp details and were never meant for everyday transactions. Because they were produced in much smaller numbers and preserved carefully, they are significantly more valuable than standard circulation strikes. When discussing whether the 1995 France 10 centimes coin is worth a lot of money, it is important to separate reality from online exaggeration. In normal circulated condition, the coin is not worth a large sum. Its value is modest, often only a small amount above face value. Claims that every example is extremely valuable are misleading and should be approached with caution. That said, higher-grade examples can be worth more, especially if they have never been cleaned or damaged. Coins that have been professionally graded and authenticated tend to attract stronger collector interest, as grading provides confidence in both condition and authenticity. Exceptional specimens can command higher prices, particularly among collectors completing full-date sets or final-era Frank collections. Another factor that can increase value is the presence of minting errors. While rare, some coins may display errors such as off-center strikes, double impressions, or defects in the metal blank. These errors are highly collectible because they represent mistakes in the minting process. Any coin suspected of having an error should be examined by a professional before assigning significant value. The historical context of this coin also adds to its appeal. The 1995 10 centimes represents one of the last generations of small-denomination French coins before the euro replaced the franc. For many collectors, this period marks the end of a long and important chapter in French monetary history. Owning such a coin is like holding a small piece of that transition in your hand. From an investment perspective, this coin should be viewed primarily as a collectible rather than a high-value asset. Its true worth lies in its historical significance, design symbolism, and condition. While it is unlikely to bring sudden wealth, it can be a meaningful and educational addition to a coin collection. Proper care is essential for preserving any collectible coin. The 1995 France 10 centimes should be stored in a dry, protective holder and handled as little as possible. Cleaning the coin is strongly discouraged, as cleaning removes original surfaces and significantly reduces collector value. Natural wear is always preferred over artificial shine. In summary, the 1995 France 10 centimes coin with no mint mark is a common yet historically important coin. It is not rare in circulated condition and is generally not worth a large amount of money, but higher quality examples and special collector strikes can hold greater value. Above all, the coin stands as a reminder of everyday life in France during the final years of the franc and the enduring symbols of the French Republic. For collectors and history enthusiasts alike, this coin proves that even the smallest denominations can carry meaningful stories. Every coin has a journey, and the 1995 France 10 centimes continues to tell its story long after leaving circulation.